if you had to give just one piece of advice for someone who is just starting their career in L&D, what would that be?
I guess it's connected to the previous question. For me, it's learn something new every day and like find time for that. Book your schedule, your busy working calendar, your busy daily, whichever calendars you use, planners, to-dos, so on and so forth. Book the time for your own development. Let it be one page of a book, let it be one new resource, one new tool, Microsoft, anything, but just learn something new every day. That way you will grow yourself, and you will always have something to share with your learners or colleagues.
Yes.
I would say that you need to really make an effort to understand how people work, especially each audience. And you need to use your empathy and your active listening. It's very important to do a program that really meets people expectations and the people needs. So that's why I said we need data sometimes to assess what is important. So really understand people, really listen. I think that's a very good starting point. And also a little bit of curiosity, because things are always changing, and you need to be always looking for trends. And
if I have to be oddly specific, Inna, I would say join L&D Shaker, because it's the community where I grow into. In general, I think a community is, I wouldn't say needed, but to me, it changed completely the way I approach the profession. It's where I learned how to get myself seen, how to start the career, how to interface with other professionals, and just made me interested in actually research what is needed to be a freelancer. So for me, it was the L&D Shakers, and for you, for others, it could be something else. But I think the community, having a community, someone you can always go into, ask for suggestion, ask for support, give back when you have learned enough to support the others. I think that is essential, or at least it's what really can kickstart you into doing what you love to do.
To anyone who's starting out, I always say this: start by volunteering. It's a great way to grow your skill and your confidence. So that's how I started in instructional design. I grabbed any opportunity to learn and expand my portfolio, because in this role, we do not care as much as for degrees. What we are caring about is your experience and your portfolio. So volunteering is the quickest and I would say the most rewarding way to do this. You learn a ton, not just design and development, but more importantly, you learn how to work with clients, with SMEs and learners. So and it's good for you and it's good for them.
I would add, never stop learning yourself, and never underestimate taking another course for just learning what is happening right now. You always can take out something, and this is the experience that actually Ren already mentioned that helps you grow yourself. So never stop learning and never stop practicing.
Always be curious, right? Is there a better way? Are we doing the right thing? Question things, always be curious. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with this idea of thinking like a marketer. We talked about that they both have common goals. And I would say sometimes marketers are a bit better at focusing on understanding, engaging their audiences, and then demonstrating the value to their stakeholders.
I would say balance your education, understand learning science and statistics. In addition to technology, if you come from a technology area, focus on learning science. If you come from a learning science area, focus on statistics and technology, and get that balance, because it's really hard you at least need to have some familiarity with all those fields in order to succeed. I think it's really hard to be too much of a specialist.
I would think for me, it's really finding an expert in the field and then asking them a ton of questions. So for personally, I just never stop asking questions. And the idea is just to update my mental model to learn how experts think in the field. And then also making recommendations when you have one. Like, it can be tempting to stay in the learning space, but if there's a good recommendation, you read something online, feel free to do that. And you could get corrected, or it could sort of fly to be something big. So
I have some advice, and I think this advice is not only for beginner in learning and development. I heard it from my mentor. Don't fall in love with your idea, with your solution. Flirt with them. Fall in love with your client's problem and make innovation happen.
Yeah, for starting, I keep on getting this question being asked quite oftenly, that how you become so experienced in L&D, or how you manage to reach up to the lead position or head of department position. So my answer is always that it's not about becoming the lead of any department. It's about learning the leadership skills. So I would be advising that don't rush.
one piece of advice, maybe two. The first one is learner first, and then second is measurement. What I mean by learner first is always keep the end user in mind at every stage. So essentially design for the learner. And how to do that, because I know it's easier said than done, try to live a day of your learner's life. Try to really put yourself under their skin, put yourself in their shoes, ideally spend time with them, ask them questions, understand their challenges, and try to live a day of their life as close as possible, because then you can only put the learner first and design something that works for them. And the second one would be around measurement, because for any program that you're designing, you need to really define upfront what success looks like, and then work backwards from there. So learner first and measurement.
I think it would be about like aiming for impact. So if you are responsible for developing trainings or delivering trainings, look for the ultimate impact that you can create for your learners and users. So even if the subject matter is something like skills at a certain level using a certain kind of system, or it's the knowledge and the skills at that level aren't the things which are going to be motivating the learners. So you have to aim higher and aim for something, aim like a value within the look for what is really going to be motivating the learners, which is finding some kind of something around their identity, some kind of the purpose, look for that real deeper impact.